So this afternoon, so there's this guy I know. Um, I've known him for years actually. Um, More than 10 years, I think so. Yeah, in Abuja. So he had used I think the one car he used first, one Toyota Camry. Then eventually he switched to I would say upgraded. I think it was Toyota 90. Is it 98 or 99? Something like that. 1999 model. So he switched to second generation Toyota Avalon. I now use it for years actually, for quite a long time. I can't remember when he started using the Avalon. So and though I've never actually discussed with him like how is the car serving you or anything, but I know I see him driving the car every day, and he never was like he knows me as a car person as also as a technician, but he has never come to me to ask for or do any complaint like oh my car have this issue or that. So I assume of course there will be breakdown, but the car is serving him. So recently I started seeing him with a different car, uh much newer. So though a Toyota as well. So I now today I asked him, how come I've not been seeing that your Avalon? Is the car still around? So he was like, no. The As he was explaining, the expression was like, no, the car, no, I've sold the car. I said, he said, he now pointed at uh the current car, the newer car is now driving. So I said, yeah, I've seen you with the car for some days now. So which was why I was wondering what happened to the Avalon. Because that's the only car I know he's been using. So I was like, oh, maybe you added this on. So he said, no, he saw the car, man. The car nearly killed him. So I was like, nearly killed you? Ah, come on, if there are people that will tell me my car nearly killed me, I'll say, okay, makes sense. But you, I know you always, I mean, like daily, you drive, basically drive the car. So it doesn't mean the car have never broken down, but not at a point that you're running with the car for a while. That's my point. They said no, not that the car was that. No, the engine, because that was the next question I asked. But the car had a V6 engine, and I know for sure Toyota engines, especially in fact specifically Toyota V6 engines, are not known for having all these major issues like notorious issues that their four cylinders are known for. I mean, their four cylinder Toyota engines. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them are just crap in terms of issues. I don't even know how people consider them as so-called reliable. But then I'm not shitting on them because I understand even Peugeot engines too. Some of them also have their own issues. So I was like, at least I don't know of any major issue this engines have, or was it the transmission that was giving you headache? So I was like, no, the engine wasn't really giving you problem. Everything, even the AC, everything was working well. And yeah, from what I know, he was always on AC. So um, but he now said it's just that the car started to consume unnecessary money that it just wasn't worth keeping the car anymore. So I was like, what kind of issue? She said tomorrow the door would do this, the next day suspension will do this, the next day this problem, the body, it's from what you were saying, it was just things started wearing out like I won't say rapidly, but this one will fail. Before you know, this other one will fail. Before this other one will fail. So it keep breaking, it keeps repairing, and before you know it, they started piling up. And like you said, it wasn't necessarily the engine. It didn't answer my question with regards to the suspension, to the transmission. The car has this 3.0 liter engine. That's a 1 MZ FE. I think he has about 210 horsepower with 4 speed automatic. So I was like, was it the transmission? You were just pointing out so many things. So the point that he was like, no, 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 this car will not kill me. So issues, so many faults, which to some might consider that if it's not engine issue, then it's not a significant problem. Or if it's not transmission problem, then it shouldn't be a major concern. But from what I can understand for him, it was a major concern. Um, that was what inspired me to do this video. So now bringing it to Pojo vehicles, or whatever car you drive, if it's not Pojo. So there are many reasons that could be an ideal or wise reason to sell or change your vehicle, or not to change your vehicle. So I'm just going to limit it to like one or two or three at most. So because depending on some factors will have to play in on what could make be okay. There's no point. You need to change the vehicle. Um, Now the first one is this. Now, if the vehicle is just for private use, and you are not really like private use is just something that you won't have to spend more. You want something, not a vintage vehicle, you just want something that could move you up and down. So yeah, you started off get the vehicle, you started off by trying to keep the maintenance up to par, do this, do that. But you should understand that it will get a point, pay will start piling up. What I mean is, sure, you might be trying to keep the engine, the clutches, if it's manual, the transmission to serve you much longer. But the other parts of the vehicle breakdown will catch up with you at some point. You might be saying suspension, suspension. People, shock absorber, or the lower wishbones, that what we call lower arm bushings, this and that. But there are other parts of the vehicle that may get to a point they start to make squeaky noise. That's man, it might not. In fact, you might find it very hard to even be able to fix it, especially if you can't trace where that noise is coming from. You might be changing your shock absorbers, then, but the other parts, some bushings, that some not necessarily hidden, but you'll be like, man, I can't afford to keep changing every bushing on that vehicle. That's number one. Well, your engine might be good, but then every today your alternator packs up, the next day your compressor packs up, the third day your coil, before you know it, your radiator will start leaking, before you know it, your AC condenser, before you know it, your ABS block or pump will fail. The next day your brake disc caliper seized, um name it. Remember, all these things I'm mentioning are not engine and transmissions. So I want you to understand. These are things if you this one boom, this one boom, this one boom. You fix this one today, then for next week another one. Come on, read this way. I mean, this evening I went somewhere to buy something. Just this evening. In fact, basically, on my way from work, so I diverted, pick something. Uh, just like maybe like 2-3 kilometers from my house. Boom. I went out with my VC school 07. So My way back was already dark, not necessarily dark, but close to dark. Um, because the car has a xenon directional headlamp. By headlamp I means as you're turning your steering wheel, when the car is in motion, if you're turning your steering wheel, the headlight will follow that. So if you turn the steering wheel this way, the those headlights will turn and follow the steering wheel to that side, so that you'll be able to see where you're turning into. If you return it, it will follow the same thing. So that's how the headlight works. It's a kind of complex um, system. So all of a sudden, boom, the light started blinking. Started blinking. The beam light, the beam tire sign on the instrument panel started blinking. Um, so and he started doing that. I didn't hit any gallop or any pothole or any rough road. I think what happened was I spun the. I was just turning. I was on the road, but I was just spinning, turning the wheel a little bit, to divert, enter another road. Basically, to turn and enter another road. So he started doing that. So I was like, what again? That sort of thing. My mind immediately hit because the good thing about the that coupe or Pojo cars with that kind of headlamp is they work with um um what's it called? Uh height is no travel no it's not travel sensor, height sensor. They work with height sensor which you find mostly on like V6 cars, V6 Pojo cars or cars like some 508, not all of them. Um Especially the ones that we regard as full option for 508, but this is 7607 upward, it's basically standard on them, especially Z9. So the good thing about them is if your any part of the front suspension fails, as far as front suspension is concerned, apart okay, excluding the let's assume the shock absorber fails, it will indicate actually. But you see any other part of the front suspension, once there's a problem there, the sensor will pick it up and then the light will start blinking, your beam light will start blinking. So and once that happens, the directional headlamp will stop working. It can no longer work with the steering until you fix the problem. So I was like, hey man, does it mean suspension for something has come up again? Which is a good thing to tell you something is wrong immediately with your suspension, fix it, you know. So it started blinking. I was like, okay, fine. 407 suspension, headache. But then, before I got home, I was just thinking, but usually, this is not the first time this has happened. And I fixed it, the warning will go away. But so, but I know before these things will happen, I will have to drive under a rough road, uh, pothole, bump, or something that will not trigger it. So, in this case, it didn't happen. It was just on a smooth road. So I knew it might not actually have to do with suspension, then what it is. So I got to switch out the car. I said, okay, let me do a test to confirm whether it's suspension. If it was suspension that triggered it, if you restart the vehicle, the warning goes away until you drive the car, turn the steering wheel, or drive onto a rough road, boom, immediately to come back again. In fact, what am I saying? Even your suspension, even because remember it's called height sensor. Even your suspension, yeah, no, even your shock absorbers, it's not I remember. Even your shock absorber, if any of them um doesn't stay on the normal level, if your shock absorber is supposed to sit at a certain level and it's too so it drops lower than it should, it will affect the height of the car. Boom, the one will come up. That system is very good. That system is very good, especially on like 407 coupe. The other saloon, VC saloon, they have it, but just like also they don't have directional headlamps. So because of that, so so guess what I did? I was okay. If I restart the car, if the warning continues without moving the steering wheel, it means it's not the suspension. So I did that, started the car, kept doing that. So I came out, and I saw that the parking light, one side has blown, the bulb stopped working. So I've not checked. Maybe tomorrow I'll pull it out to check what happened to the bulb. I stopped working. So because of that, because the whole system worked together, the height sensor on the lower wishbone, suspension, the directional headlamp, and the other bulbs there, so all work together. So because of that, I now triggered the fault, which I want to believe that was the cause, because I knew the parking light, the left side, front left side, has been working until this evening. So the one only popped up, and they noticed that the bulb has stopped working. My point is, these are the things that can wear you out. I mean, imagine, because that I didn't have this kind of knowledge to be able to interpret, because that's what it means, to be able to interpret what could be the cause. You know, if I know this one will come up, this one will come up, it's like, hey man, this guy wants to kill me. I just did suspension work last week. Now he's pointing against suspension. I mean, no, I can't. I'll just keep using the car. If I know it, another one. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So these are the things that you get to a point, you're like, man, no, it has accumulated to the point there's no point. Let me just get another car that is in a better condition, then keep using. So in that case, yeah, it will make sense, because um, you are not like you are basically into that car, because most times, most like the people I'm talking about are people who just want mobility. They are not like, oh, I love this car. They just want something to move them down, where they will spend less in keeping that car running. So in that case, yeah, it will make sense to change the vehicle. Right? It makes sense. Now, there are other options, things that could make you to change your car. I'll give you instances. Maybe use two examples. Okay, just throw it out general, because of people I know personally that apply this. So, there's this man I know in Abuja, a wealthy man. Um, I mean, when I say wealthy, I know what I'm saying. I'm not saying just no. I mean wealthy guy here in Abuja. He's a client of mine, and so this is what he does. I've known him for years. I mean, come on, he has cars. I'm talking about cars, cars. Call it in there. He is castles, not just one. Cars. However, there must always be forces. So what he does is, he will buy a clean Tokumbo forces, use it for long journeys all over Nigeria. Run around. In fact, most days, sometimes I could remember he even use it daily, because at the point they become his daily cars, daily driver. From Monday to Friday, he use it to go to work. Um, there's another car he actually substituted with, which is also a Peugeot car, but in fact, these are the only two Peugeot cars he kept, or he keeps. But his main one is the 406. The second one is a little bit smaller. But then every other one, like I said, I don't want to go into that. But what he was doing there was to get a very clean one, use it for like 2 years. Then once he starts showing sign of age on the body, no Nigerian road can, if as good as OCC is in standing the roughness of Nigerian road, he doesn't like it to start showing sign. Not necessarily on the body, but maybe the suspension or something. So what he was doing there was using it for like 2 years, we maintaining it, doing all those things, but if I know it, hey, get now, need to deal with this, can get rid of it. You go and get another clean Tokumbo. Thereabout. So in other words, maximum 2, 3 years. That what he was doing then. He said this is the only car. At the point, I remember I asked him. There was a time he actually called my. He called me and said, "See, um, after once I found once I said this one, okay, I think he has actually sold the current one he had that time. He was not asking me which other Peugeot car he probably will get that can serve him as 406. So I recommended 407. He said no, he has tried it once before he met me. He sold his 406. When he switched to 407, he couldn't serve that same purpose for him. This is why his words, not me. I didn't put anything to trying to influence his decision. He said he tried it before he met me once. He couldn't serve it, that purpose for it was serving for him. So he switched back to in fact he stopped using Pojo, but because he needed a car that can serve that the particular purpose for it was serving for him, then he went back, came back, and like I said, he used it for journeys, also daily driver was basically his car at that time, you know. So that's another reason for you to change, as in if you have that kind of capability, is it capacity? If you have the means, let me put it in this way: if you have that means, don't need to wait for those things, or even when once they start showing those signs, yeah, change your car. Because in that case, he likes forces. He likes forces. So some people will be like, hey man, I don't want to get rid of this car, but this car is not going beyond my means to keep the car running financially. So for him, those issues, once they start popping up, showing you one or two signs, hey, gone. Another one, hey. Use it for another 1 year, 2 years, that less of with those issues not coming up. Once they start coming up, he will try and fix it. I'd get the price. No, no, I don't want to start going into all those small things. No, get another sound one. You understand what I mean? So that could be a reason to change or ideal time to change. Once you have that means to make that happen, so I won't need to, because this things can actually be quite annoying and frustrating. Once all the things start breaking down almost at the same time, uh, somebody else was also doing that first 307, you know, use it, boom, out, another one in, you know. At a point, there was no 307 for a while, just couldn't, just realize that he really, is something he preferred to have, irrespective of. Got another one, you know. So that's what I'm saying. You know, start giving you some headache, and you realize that in as much as you love to have this model of car, but it just to you at that moment it doesn't make sense anymore to keep spending so much to keep the car running. Let it go. Get another one that have less issues that will still serve you for another long time before those issues start coming up. Why not? That's a good reason to change. Because you could say, okay, but why not use the money you spend to have to buy another one and use it to fix the current one that have all these problems? The way I see cars, see that you get to a point, no matter what you fix, you won't be able to get it like factory or new anymore. That's how I see it. No matter what you spend, most likely will never come back. I mean, unless I'm willing to spend like I don't know how much again you can spend to make the car to be like a new one, an old vehicle that have things have started wearing out. So in that case, if you are not attached to that car, see what I'm saying. If you have no emotional attachment to that very car, I'm not saying the model of car, but I'm saying that very car, but you like that model, why not? and you can afford to let go of the car and get another better one financially, why not? That's another reason, wise reason to let go is, for example, commercial, using it for commercial purposes. Um, which wears car down much faster or rapidly compared to private use. So yeah, you get a car, you buy a vehicle one to serve you, serve you, serve you, serve you, serve you. Right, to get consider how bad Nigerian roads are. Be driving on highway, interstate, this one, and then even if you keep changing all your chock absorbers every day, which is the car once you drive every part of it, then the interior will be wearing out fast. You can keep fixing it and this and that. Tomorrow, radiator, tomorrow, this. The car just keep repenting. You get the point, man. You start taking the profit. So fixing it, all those, trying to fix all those problems, we realize that the car has started consuming more than it should, business wise. It makes sense to let it go. Get something again that will you save less in maintenance or repair. Not necessarily maintenance, no, on repairs, not maintenance, on repairs. Repairs is part of maintenance though, but I'm saying specific because maintenance could be what actually you don't do on a car. You know, if you don't drive rough on rough road, you are maintaining your car well by not letting your driving skill damage the vehicle, or driving style, not skill, driving style damage the vehicle. So maintenance doesn't necessarily have to do with repairs. You know, um, so that could be another ideal time or reason, wise reason to sell. You know. Now all these things I'm saying, remember I didn't put like the core enthusiast inside it. You know, when I mean enthusiast, I'm not saying those. There are people that love cars, they're into cars, but they are not into car collections. Is that what I mean? They are not into car collection. They are car people, but not like, oh, I want to keep this car for good. They drive this one. Sometimes they will even want to drive it up to 1 year. Cars less than 6 months, they're already tired of the car. They want something else, faster, more powerful, this and that. They switch. Driving another 6 months, hey, they get bored easily. You know, I want another powerful. Sometimes not because they get bored, they just like to keep testing, to keep experimenting. That's how they derive joy in their car, um, in their own way of being car enthusiasts. Then there are uh, some of us who are into car collections. Yeah, so we might love every other car, we want to experience every other car, but we are more conservative in sense that no, it's here, it has come, it has come. All I need now is to be financially uh, buoyant to be able to add more. Those ones we love and keep using. But what will now happen is because you are adding, you have more than one, two, whatever. The wear and tear will be less. So you won't really be frustrated like those people that have only one cars. The people that have only one, where this a day in, day out, this one is only car on the road, wearing out faster, doing all the jungles, everything. So those things we are so, but because those are what you think, you love the car. You might have some of the issues you talked about, some of these suspension, but then those are less your headache. If they don't piss you off, you know. For example, I give you remember when did I repaint my 505? That was 20. Is it 2022? Trying to remember. I think it was 2022 or so. Um, I know it wasn't last year, so it was 2 years ago. So the car, ever since I got the cars 2010, started using it January 2011. Um, the no door issue, no door lock mechanism, nothing. Though I would say, since I got the car, because the front windows are they are power windows, so the motor, the window motor on the left, front left, has been lazy ever since I got the car. It was but been lazy. The other one goes up and down much faster. This one do that slowly. So in fact, sometimes if I leave the car for a long time, if I want to operate it, you might have to actually put hand to help it to go up. If it coming down, it will come down, but to go up sometimes I have to put down, or unless I will now have to start to lubricate. I don't know what that the name they call it. The channel where the windows come up and go down by the doors. To lubricate it, it makes it a little bit not faster, but I think it can be able to go on its own without stopping halfway. Ever since I got the car, like I said, 2010, it has been like that. But because, like I said, the car constantly is always on AC, so I'm like, come on, do I really need to worry about something I barely use? Because the only way to do that most likely is to go and change the motor. No, I know it could be serviced, but some things I'm like, come on, it's not better I just change it. Get someone that is as fast as this other one. So that's one of the examples. So some people might say, no, I need it. Why? No, I have to fix it. But I don't care. You know, I could say it's an accumulated issue, but it's not a headache to me. My value for the car, what the purpose the car served me is more significant than that kind of minor something I barely use. Something else as well. For those who don't know, GL, I'm talking about 504 GL, TI, um, 505, especially the non-Argentinian spec, ones that have independent rear differentials, uh, drive shaft. So there is this bushing, thick bushings that are attached on the rear cross member. The car has about 3 rear cross members. I'm talking about, I think it's the first one directly, um, behind the tire, untouched, on top. There are two. Then another one behind where the spring and the shock absorbers are attached. So there's a two bushes there, and since I got the car, those bushes were intact. But because of my previous experience with my GL that have same or basically same setup, once you put a jack, because there's a position where to put a jack to lift the rear end of the car. But most mechanic they just ignore that sign. There's a position for it. Ignore that position, put it elsewhere that is closer to that. Once you jack the car there, like 2 or 3 times, it's going to damage those bushes. So what will now happen is once you damage it, as you are driving fine, but you hit any gallop or so, you'll be hearing noise from that side. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. So ever since I got the car, because of that, I didn't want to let anybody jack the rear end of that car, if not me. So recently, at a point, I started giving out the car to the mechanic I trust. That is very good. But then, that issue is still a problem. Even though I will come and explain to him, please don't put jack there. You tell him today, the next day. Even sometimes, but because I may not always be there, you need to jack the vehicle again. He will still go back to that. So recently, I started hearing that noise. I know it's a problem. So unfortunately, that pushing is not even. I remember when I was using GL in the 90s. I can't remember if I made an attempt to see if I can find that bushing. It's not something because people don't bother to replace it. So I doubt if since there is no demand for them, who will bother to bring them and sell? It's just that noise will be there. So As it is, I was like, okay, even if I ask or search for it, what's the point? It means you now force me to now be the only one to be doing repairs on that car at the time. So because I mean, if I give it out again, even if I go and check, give it out again, it's going to break. So I can as well live without that one. You know, as annoying as it is, I'm okay with that. Maybe as in future, I probably may have to, if I see it in the market, I may buy it and replace. My point is, people like us, some of those things we might never experience them, or even if we did or we do, it won't be reason enough because the purpose of us having or keeping these cars go beyond some of these things that are considered annoying enough to let go of the car or sell the car or get rid of the car. So yeah, so I basically I don't want to put uh, uh you know enthusiasts like me in this video, like as part of because ours is just completely different. So these are the reasons why probably it might make sense to say, hey, there's no point keep using this car, because you can always get another one, that same car in a better condition. Why keep spending so much to a car you have no emotional attachment? Honestly, if you don't really have emotional attachment to a car, don't let it become a burden on you. It is a waste. You have your means, sell it back. Even if you see want that car, I mean, some people could say the reason why they like cars is because of the look. You know, it might be dated, but you just like the look, how the car looks. It's attractive to you, no matter how old or new the vehicle is. So in that case, yeah, it shouldn't stop you from selling the car if it comes to that. Like the man I was telling you, every 2 3 years, boom, get another one. Like I said, if the means is there and you are not emotionally attached to a vehicle. You know, or another way you can be, let's assume, okay, I really want it, then get another car. Let's just substitute this one that you care about so much. Then the other one, you're using it daily, doing that. Whenever I decide you get rid of it, get another one. You know. Yeah, the looks can actually determine. For example, when cars are very, you could say, um, when you enter a car produced from 2015 upward and enter the one produced 1995 to 2005 or thereabout. Yeah, you can tell the difference in terms of the look, especially interior wise. I mean, this looks very dated. This looks much newer. You know, so in that case, you are not talking about change. You get a point. It's like, no, I need a change. I can afford to get that change or to make that change happen. So why keep using the same car, using the same, looking at the same interior when I would prefer something that looks much newer, have more gadgets, this and that. So in that case, yeah, it will make sense, to change. Again, people like us, even though we are not in this picture at all, it doesn't matter. No matter how dated the interior is, we even appreciate it more because we are not trying to compare it with something new. See, when you see a car collector, which I usually regard as hardcore enthusiast, when you see a car collector, what he is keeping, this car he has, one might be 1960, the other one 1980, the other one 2000, the other one 1950 or 1940. That particular one is kind of special for that year, that era. Every time he sits inside the car or is looking at the car, he's looking at 1950. He's sitting in 1950. The experience is what he is entering is to experience 1950. So he doesn't want to enter 504 and be experiencing 2024. No, he wants that 1980, 1970, 1990 experience, depending on the production year or the phase of that 504. Likewise, 404, this and that. That's why I say there are layers, there are degrees of car enthusiasm. Some might have the money and be buying all the exotic cars, powerful cars, supercars, the ones that have V12 engine that can fly, the ones that cost billions or millions of millions. It's not in that. I'm talking about maybe 200 million naira, 500 million naira car, this and that. Call it. That doesn't necessarily make you a real car person. You just have the money to fling around. So you just life fast. I'm talking about people that actually appreciate that technology. As you realize that it's not about the age, it's about this value, as in this thing. That's why old arts cost more than new arts, because people that buy those antique, vintage things are people that their level have differ from every other person that looks at shiny things and these are plastic things, usually to impress, to impress people around them. But when you are buying an art, old art, sometimes it could be to impress, but most of the time is mostly because you appreciate what that person put into that art. Just to sit down and be looking at it, not to put it in your city room so that whoever that comes say, well, hey man, this guy is heavy or is loaded. No, what they are doing is, man, you an art, an antique, a old house you inherited, this and that is you admire that particular era, the level of technology or call it an art expression. Call it okay, level of expression of men in those times. They were able to express themselves with these things they created. So you put yourself inside them at that time. So so in that case, how you guys say, you could say, Befoe's interior is very old, it looks like an old man's car, it looks like 504 is this and that. It's just that I tell people I prefer 504 GL interior in our dashboard than 505 SR, which is newer. 504 GL is the interior is among the oldest. This one we are designed in the 70s, in fact 60s. Why the SR, the best line, those ones are later models designed in the 80s and the rest. So 80s, 90s, even 2000, they kept changing them. Likewise, the stereo. So I prefer those old ones because what a new one then, I'll appreciate it as well. When you sit inside a new car, you admire the technology, the soft touches, this and that they put. I mean, come on, see, there are degrees. As I say, when it comes to the car enthusiasts, there are degrees. You know, there are levels. Let me put it that way. So people like that, they are not really among the selling cars. If I if they sell, it's not because there's a reason, or ideal reason to sell. Unless maybe he needed money, maybe there's an issue, he needed something, he needed the fund, or the owner is no longer alive. So the dependents or the children or the spouse may not really value those things, so they will just get rid of them. So I hope this I'll be able to educate people, who sometimes get confused when should I sell or not to sell, or is it worth it to sell, or will I be able to get, this dilemma can always be there. So as I said, you don't have to really hold on to something. You can easily get something better, even if it must be that same car. and you really don't have that. You're not really that type that see car as like an expression of you, because car is actually an expression of you. Whatever car you drive is who you are. It's as simple at least at that moment that's who you are. You know, as you won't, unless you let somebody influence you. In fact, basically the same thing is who you are, even if it's not really what you want, but because you need to impress somebody, it's still who you are. Trust me, there are cars I see. It tells me the kind of a man the person is. Once I see a car a man has, I just tell this. I don't know how to put it. I don't want to sound insulting, but cars I will see doesn't mean it's not about the financial aspect, because most of these cars can actually be quite expensive. But you see that this person bought this vehicle or is using this car not because that's exactly what he would have liked to go for, but because of influence or because of to impress, as in he has to give up what he really care about, in order to satisfy, even if it makes him miserable using this car. But then the people around, or let me not go there. I don't want to, please. People will start putting things that I didn't say together. So, so that's it. I hope it makes sense to know when to give it on the car or hold on to it. So, I just had to put this together so that it will help you to make decisions better. All right. So, till the next video.